please join me in welcoming the governor of the great state of West Virginia, Governor Jim Justice.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody? How you doing? Oh. Well, sit, please. I'm going to sit right, where am I going to sit? Here, Chelsea? Yeah. Okay. Chelsea has been so wonderful to not have given birth quite yet. And we hope she'll hold off at least to get us through this. But if she has to go quick, we'll all go with her. It's a great day again. You know, these are fun days. I mean, so many things are happening within our state, and oftentimes we can, you know, we almost get lost in the shuffle, you know, in thinking that we forget where we were, and all we want is news about what's going to happen tomorrow. Well, let me tell you this, and this is how I feel in my life. You know, I say it over and over. I believe that the good ideas that I come up with come from the good Lord, and I say that sincerely. And the reason I say that, and I want to talk to you just about this just a second, is just this, is, you know, we should not dwell on our past, but we should always learn from and appreciate where we're going and appreciate our blessings that we have in front of us. You know, we're so far away from anything that could compare to what we're doing here today. And yet a lot of us, you know, it's almost like, you know, yesterday we were really hungry and we didn't have the money to do anything, maybe even be able to eat a bowl of cereal. And today we're to drive through window at Wendy's. And we've forgotten about the fact that yesterday we were scrounging around trying to find just enough food to have a bowl of cereal. And so I would say to all of us, and not from the standpoint of anyone patting me or Chelsea or anybody on the back, I would say to all West Virginians, we've got to always learn and remember where we were and use that blessing to propel us to where we want to go. Now, I didn't have any intention whatsoever of talking about that, but you know, it always worries or bothers me when someone around me forgets where you've been. It's almost like forgets who brung you to the dance and then just wants more. You know, that's not good for any of us on anything we do. Now, let me tell you this, that today we're announcing a new ad campaign. You're going to see it in just a second. And this beautiful lady right here and lots of others that have helped in lots of different ways, they have been so good, so phenomenally good. It's just unbelievable. Now, this new ad campaign is going to center around just this. It's going to center around rebranding West Virginia. Rebranding West Virginia with the song that every single person everywhere knows us. You know, there was a bunch of people in Germany, and this happened probably 6 months ago. Gosh, time flies. It may have even been 9 months ago. And I think I showed it to Chelsea. But they were there, and there was something that was brought up about West Virginia. And all these Germans that couldn't speak English could sing the Almost Heaven song. And they were all drinking and singing that. And that's really how we're known all over the world. And John Denver blessed all of us with that. We are almost heaven. For crying out loud, we're trying to get our message out to the world to just see that we're not dark and backward and dingy and dusty and everything, and the hollows aren't dark that where we can't even hardly get around. We're not that. You know, we're a people in a state with beauty that's unsurpassed anywhere. And we have so many opportunities because the greatness of how good our people are, how loving and appreciative that they are in every way. So, we embark on a new campaign that will sell our state. You know, I said it over and over and over. Any frog that's not proud of his own pond isn't much of a frog. Now, that's all there is to it. So, if we're not willing to go out and market our state to others, then we're not much of a frog. And so at the end of the day, that's what we're doing now. You know, we're embarking upon an explosion of what we think will happen within tourism. And this great lady and all the great people that have helped her have worked really hard to develop a concept. And let me just speak just 1 second about the concept. All of us that know West Virginia and all the West Virginians that are strung all over the earth, you know, when I went to San Diego just a few weeks ago on a journey that was, oh gosh, that was one tough deal. I mean, I got in an airplane and flew 7.5 hours, landed, went to the ball game and saw Marshall and WVU there representing our state, which was absolutely wonderful. Turned around, left there. We were supposed to land in plenty of time to be able to go to a hotel room and take a shower or something like that and change clothes. We landed and I had to change in the bathroom of the airport terminal. Then went to the game. After the game, left the game, drove through Wendy's and got a chicken sandwich and back on the airplane and landed at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I'm telling you, I would have rather, and I love the fact that I had gone there and seen two great basketball teams, but I felt like somebody laid me down and beat me with a ball bat. But you know, it was so a tough trip. But when I was there, all through everywhere is all these West Virginians. And not West Virginians that live here today, but West Virginians that probably had to leave to go get a job. And all these West Virginians are there, and lots of them. Now, let me tell you, all of us know just one word. It's easy. I wouldn't have thought of it, but it's for real. And that word is longing. You know, when we leave, it's almost like it's in our spirit, it's in our heart, and we long to be home, and we long for all the greatness about what West Virginia really is. So that's kind of the subheading of where we start. And then what we've got to do is we've got to promote longing. Now, and then right behind that, we've got to promote all that we have here for you once you're here. We want to promote longing. That basically it gives, even though you haven't maybe been a West Virginian, once you come here, you will long to come back. So we want to promote longing, but you have to brand yourself, and then you move into, you know, points of interest and everything and all the different things and call to action stuff. You see, this is right in my wheelhouse. My MBA, my specialization is marketing advertising, and I know this stuff, you know, and I've been away, but this is what I know. This is right in my wheelhouse. And so really and truly, we're embarking upon something that's going to drive lots and lots and lots of folks here. So I've talked long enough. Go to it, babe. Let's do it.
So the governor did a great job of explaining everything, so I don't know that I have that much left, but let me just go through. What I want to do is give you all some information on the research and the thought process behind this campaign. The first slide I had was really to talk to you about the governor's vision for tourism, but he has really explained it pretty well. But let me say this. The governor has worked with us. Jordan, I might need help. The governor has worked with us closely every step of the way. Since day one, when I took this job, he meets with me regularly, no matter what's going on. I meet with him at least once a month. He has seen everything down to the photography, the music selection. He has been a vital, vital part of this campaign. We've had a great team that's worked with us, but he has no doubt been the coach who has led us to today. So, Governor, thank you very much for helping us get to this point. So I want to, again, just go through really briefly kind of how we got here. So one of my favorite statistics about tourism is this. 86% of people who come to West Virginia come back. We know that when we get them here, they fall in love with the state and they keep coming back. But when we first started looking at what this campaign was going to look at, we had to look into the challenges. And we immediately realized, although that was a really great thing that we get repeat visitors, that's one of our biggest challenges. Last year, only 14% of the people who came to this state were first-time visitors. So we know that in order to increase visitation, we've got to get more people here for the first time. We've also got to work on bringing people here who are going to spend more money and stay longer. The good news is first-time visitors tend to stay longer and spend more money, so we're on the right track. So the goal of this campaign, and the governor really summed this up nicely, is basically we want to change the way people think about West Virginia. So a year from now, I want to be standing here with the governor telling you we have changed perceptions about West Virginia, we've countered some of those negatives, we've increased visitation, and we've piqued interest for economic development. Again, we just want to change the way people are thinking about our state. So before we really got into the campaign, we took a deep look and really tried to figure out what is our product. If we were a big company and we were trying to figure out what are we selling, the first thing we'd have to do is figure this out. So we've put this together, and there's basically 4 things. And I hate to read them, but they're really important. So I want everybody to hear, these are the things that I think we're selling in West Virginia. Our state is unspoiled, not overly polished or congested, which is a great contrast to many of the cities that our visitors of origin are coming from. We have a unique way of life that's preserved in the land and its people. West Virginia has a mystique about it that creates a sense of unknown. We're a hidden gem. And there are lots of things to see and do here that are unique. So we spent a couple months trying to figure out what this campaign was going to look like. And ultimately, we found that the answer was right in front of us. Our state is very fortunate to have its own anthem. Like the governor said, you know, people in Germany are singing this song. I bet everybody in this room has been somewhere outside of West Virginia. You tell somebody that you're from West Virginia and they start singing Country Roads to you. Everyone knows it. Our survey research found that over 90% of people in the US were familiar with this song. But we wanted to test it to make sure that it has a positive impression. So we did some survey research. It was to both people in state and out of state. And first we asked them what they thought about West Virginia, how appealing they thought West Virginia was as a place to visit. 56% of people had a positive impression. Then we asked them, what do you think about Almost Heaven, West Virginia? That number went up to 68%. Then we played Country Roads, and we again asked them, what do you think of West Virginia? And that number went up to 81%. So we knew we were onto something here. We knew that people knew the song, and we knew that it greatly increased their perceptions of West Virginia. The lyrics tell our story. I mean, if you think about the song and the words in it, Almost Heaven, life is there, older than the trees, the place I belong, in the morning hour she calls me, it all builds up to what the governor was talking about, this feeling of longing, being called to West Virginia. So once we knew that Country Roads and Almost Heaven was where we wanted to go, we also wanted to do some research to figure out what inspires people. What makes people want to come to West Virginia? So we tested about 150 photos, and the results were not what I expected. So you'll see on the top row, these are the top 3 photos in our collection that tested well. You'll notice they're scenics. They're very inspiring. So when we're looking at mass marketing, when we're looking at TV, outdoor billboards, this is what inspires people. These scenics, these beautiful, breathtaking images of West Virginia. The things that everybody in this room probably takes for granted that we have right outside. The ones on the bottom, those were less inspirational. Not to say we won't use them, we'll absolutely use them, but we'll use them further down the sales funnel when we know what people are interested in. Like the governor said, we've got to inspire them, and then we've got to tell them what there is to do. The next thing we looked at is we really took a strong look at values and culture. So we looked at, what do people in West Virginia like? I think storytellers is basically representative of the governor. He's the best storyteller in the state. So we've got that one on here. But the thing that came up over and over and over was a love of home, this sense of longing that the governor talked about. So when we put all these things together, what we found, and I don't think I can explain it any better than he did, but that we want to create a campaign that's based around longing. We want to get people in this state and people who have connections to the state to long to come home, to long to want to do things, to be called to the state. But then we also want to bottle that up as an emotion, and that's our product. That's what we're selling people. We're selling them a call, a longing to come to West Virginia. We want to inspire them to visit. So when you put all those things together, and I'm sure you guys have seen the boards in the back of the room, this is kind of the culmination of it all. An inspiring photo. We're using bits and pieces of the lyrics, and there's an emotional appeal. And at the end of it, we're driving everybody to our website, WV Tourism, where they can find out more about these activities, where we can start doing some additional digital marketing and other things to tell them what there is to see and do that's unique in the state. So once we put this all together, we had done all the research. We knew that we were on the right track, but we thought, we want to test it. We want to make 100% sure before we invest the state's money into all these changes that this is going to inspire people, this is actually going to increase visitation. So we tested it in 6 different markets, 2 of which were in West Virginia, 4 out of state. And we asked people, we talked to people, we interviewed them, we showed them the spots, we showed them the ads, the digital ads, the print ads, and we said, what do you think about this? We got a lot of great feedback, but basically some of the highlights I'll give you from that research. First and foremost, we had a number of different people tell us, this changes the way I think about West Virginia. This isn't what I've always thought. It was countering some of those negative perceptions about the state. We also got a lot of feedback from people that it kind of gave them the emotional appeal. It made them want to come here. For the people in state, we had several people say, the TV spot made me cry. There was this strong emotional reaction both in state and out of state. And the best news is that 100% of the people who were exposed to it said it increased their likelihood to visit West Virginia. So from beginning to end, we've done the research. We made sure that we knew what our product was. We made sure that we knew what would sell. Then we put it into a model that made a lot of sense. And then we went back out again and did consumer testing to make sure it was going to do what we wanted to do. So this isn't a guessing game. This isn't something where we're putting it into market next week and saying, oh, I hope people come here. This is something where, based on all the information we had and a lot of great counsel from the governor, we're really, really happy with it, and we really think this is going to drive consumer visitation. So without further ado, I will start the TV spot.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country roads take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home.
tell you this, I've got to say this, that, I've had the great opportunity to work a whole bunch with Chelsea. There was days when Chelsea came into the office and we sat and I said, that ain't going to work and everything. And the long and the short of it is if that doesn't inspire you, if that doesn't really get your attention, if that doesn't change your perception of the way you think about West Virginia, then, I can't help you, because that's good stuff. And so, the only other thing is a couple of things real quick. Chelsea brought me this and this writing, that was done on an original map. I think, maybe one of the first maps that was ever done, in regard to West Virginia. So we used that. And the other thing I would say is, Chelsea, if this little girl Longing would be a beautiful name. But the last thing I've got is this, Chelsea brought me, we came in, the pictures that she showed you, the 3 on the bottom and the 3 on the top. And she said, which of these do you think is the most inspiring picture about West Virginia? I'll pick the one, at Babcock State Park with all the little red leaves, the maple leaves laying on the ground and the water and everything. And she said that's the one that, hit first and everything. The others, although they're showing, hiking and mountain biking and so on like that, are really, really, really important. And as we move forward, we've got to show all the great things we have to do. But those didn't really strike a chord with people today because they know they can get on their bike and ride wherever they may be, But we've got to show we've got to show off who we really are. And so, just like the picture of the kid, snowboarding there or whatever, or the whitewater rafting things, or the ATV things, or all the different events that you could go to, whether it be the Polar Express or whatever, all that's coming, but this is where we start. And the other thing that Chelsea said to me was, here's the photos that we've got, and we've searched all the banks from the DNR to everywhere, And I said, Chelsea, the pictures are there. And she said, well, this is all we've got. And I kept saying, Chelsea, the pictures are there. And she said, well, where are they? And I said, we've got them. We've got them right here in our state. But what we got to do is get them. And so we created this photo contest. I said, create a photo contest. Tell the people that their picture that they have that's so dramatic, it's unbelievable, is going to be featured in all of our state advertising, and we're going to give them $500 for the winning pictures or whatever like that. And so she did. And I think on the first day we had 1,600 or something like that were sent in. And we got some beautiful, beautiful photos. And we want to encourage people that are still out there to keep sending them. Because you see, not only does this now become the Chelsea Show or the Governor Justice Show, but it becomes a show that is really all of us contributing to the whole, all of us making it happen in West Virginia, all of us pulling the rope together. And that makes it really, really special. So I guess that's all we got. And congratulations again to Chelsea, our board, all the people here that really, this is really, really special. Been a lot of licks go in. This is not shooting from the hip. It's a real deal, real deal. You're going to be really proud of your place that you have taken up residence here and everything. The only thing is you're going to have to squeeze in a little tighter because there's going to be more and more and more of us here, and that'll be a good day.
So again, thank you to the governor for all of his help in getting us to this point. I'm not just saying this, we really wouldn't be here if it hadn't been for all the many meetings you've sat through with me looking at pictures and that, so thank you.
Well, it's been interesting. It's been good. I love this, and this one has been good.
And if you all will join us, we're going to have a reception out here. There's a couple things I just want to point out. We'll have a bunch of advertising samples. So a lot of the things the governor talked about with the photo contest, we've got a lot of ad samples that are out there for people to look at using those photos. We've also got a photo mosaic wall with those pictures that come together to make the logo. And then we've got a about 3-minute video with about 500 of the photos from the photo contest. So please take a few minutes, walk through, take a look at everything, and I think you'll be excited with what you see. Thanks again.
Okay, thank y'all.